Breaking news. Slaves in Kentucky are under house arrest. Their only crime is being positive for the Gates-Fauci virus, this COVID HIV 2.0 that everyone has been infected with. We're going to be getting into the news and the latest discoveries out there, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we've also been covering the angle of this virus that's cut with rabies. We're seeing society degenerate around us. It's like the zombie apocalypse is about to hit. Just wait for the elections. People are waiting for the boogaloo. The boogaloo's coming to you, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got some of the latest footage from Seattle, no, Portland, and it's getting crazy out there. It's like a whole new breed of Americans, a whole new species out there, to say the least. We're going to cover the big news and give a big shout out to everybody in the audience. No one should be allowed to drive again until there are no fatal accidents for 4 consecutive days. Then we can slowly begin to phase in certain classes of people who begin driving again, but at only half the posted speed limit. Safety first, ladies and gentlemen. We could say this about drugs and many other top killers in our society. How about we just stop everything until the drug crisis stops? That would be nice, ladies and gentlemen. Or maybe we could just stop delivering food until the GMOs stop. Check this out. These are masks for paint, asbestos, mask mining. But Fauci's wearing the mask for the deadliest virus in history. There's something wrong with the mask. There's something wrong with the testing. There's something wrong with this virus. And people better start asking the right questions before it's too late. Are you getting it now? African migrant arrested after fire guts cathedral, historic cathedral. And this just makes us think that obviously the Notre Dame fire was no accident either, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, there's many churches that are burning, many statues that are being burned and vandalized and the like. And it's because we're dealing with cult members. Why do they have to lash out at churches and symbols of Christianity, ladies and gentlemen? It's because what's going on out there, it isn't about politics, it's about religion. And this is the zombie Luciferian horde, the armies of Gog and Magog storming our streets of New Babylon, waiting to punish you. It's going to be like the Purge. It's going to be like the Hunger Games before you know it. Big breaking news. Tyranny escalates. Couple in Kentucky under house arrest for testing positive. Now perhaps they tried to escape home quarantine, but we've been seeing vans snatching people right off the streets. Unmarked vans, unmarked federal agents snatching people like the Gestapo. Now you're under house arrest for the Gates-Fauci virus, and that's exactly what this is, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got footage of that on our website, stfnreport.com, and our Twister feed. We want to remind everybody to send us your videos of 5G death towers in your neighborhood. We just covered the death towers in the previous broadcast, and they're getting new and improved out there, ladies and gentlemen. 1 million mink culled in the Netherlands and Spain amid COVID-19 fur farming havoc. And this is just the beginning. Soon they'll find it in the chickens, they'll find it in the pork, they'll find it in the cattle, and all of a sudden we'll be running out of food because it's contaminated with COVID. Look, they can just cook the food and kill the COVID. It'll be fine. They certainly could have just basically, done some kind of sterilization process for this fur, but you don't really want to kill these fuzzy little animals for their fur. We've killed pretty much all life on Earth, and it's only getting worse. But this tells us theoretically that this virus is like no other virus. It's infecting every animal on Earth: cats, dogs, minks, you name it. And most viruses are customized for a particular species, maybe 2 species, but to see it infect all life on Earth tells us basically that this was engineered in a lab. The Fauci Gates virus, those people are still free to strike again. You're going to get another wave and another wave until those people are arrested or worse. ladies and gentlemen. And, for the war crimes that they've committed, soon you're going to start seeing posters wanted dead or alive. Walmart will require all customers to wear a mask starting July 20th. So the federal government may not mandate this, these masks, but your stores will. Best Buy, Costco, many others, everybody's going to file suit, or follow suit, we should say. And here's some more footage from Portland, and it looks like, Mad Max out there. It's like a whole new breed, a whole new species of Americans. These are Americans. Look, they're holding the police station under siege, trying to break in. And so, this is the federal courthouse, it looks like. So authorities have protected the courthouse with some kind of, barrier, it looks like. And here they are just trying to break in and burn it down to the ground. Now, it's funny how all of these people are using, the boogaloo tactics, taking down essentially these institutions that are making it possible for this deep state tyranny to exist. The courthouses don't prosecute criminals, they protect the criminals, they protect the establishment and the like, and on it goes throughout all of these institutions. They're there to protect the tyranny. And so to a certain extent, you have to like, what you're seeing here. Unfortunately, it's going to be a communist revolution instead of an American revolution, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here are your kids on drugs. These phones are like crack cocaine. And if you want to get your kids back, ladies and gentlemen, you got to shock them back into the real world. And, they don't even know, but they're running out of time as they're getting irradiated and dumbed down by the device. And so, soon there'll be a totally, lost libtard. Target is starting to put mirrors so you can try on different masks. Now, what are these masks really made of? What are you going to be breathing in through these masks? These aren't pharmaceutical grade air filters or, FFP2 masks that you would get at a pharmacy. These are just some kind of, cheap, toxic, kind of like fashion statement. Oh, look, I've got a pretty mask instead of a pharmaceutical grade mask. And that's essentially what you should be shooting for, not style, but efficiency. Most of these masks at the N95, FFP2, really don't stop the virus either, but it's certainly a lot better than just a surgical mask. Florida company adapts drones to sanitize stadiums, venues. What venues? Are they going to be flying over your house, spraying you with more COVID and the like? These people are fluoridating your water. They're poisoning your water. They're spraying all of your foods with pesticides, neurotoxins. They're making you eat GMOs, ladies and gentlemen, on purpose to poison you. And so don't think that they're not going to poison you through other means like viruses, death towers, vaccines, and, whatever these kind of, chemicals might be. So anyways, we've got an excellent BLM story here. This lady is calling BLM out for what it is and, saying all Christians must unite against this tyranny. And, black people are some of the most woke people out there, but we've got a very troubled new generation gangster class out there. It's been force-fed MTV and ScrewTube their entire lives. They never knew the pre-9/11 world. They're like a different race of Americans. Now here's some activism going on in the UK.
Masks do not work. The science shows they do not work. Why are we wearing them?
So the surgical masks don't work. They just stop or reduce the amount of fresh oxygen that's coming into your body. So it may cause more harm than good. Wearing a surgical mask really isn't, and it's more like a statement that you lack intelligence more than anything else. If you were intelligent, you'd have like some real type of mask, a gas mask, or maybe some kind of pharmaceutical grade mask at the very least. But surgical masks, whether you buy them at the pharmacy or at the Walmart, have two big holes on the sides. They're not really stopping anything. Now here's a new tactic, toss the phone behind enemy lines. Had to like that one. ladies and gentlemen. Here's another video from Portland. We're seeing that, it looks like a scene from hell, basically, doesn't it? Doesn't that look very, hellish, dark-sided, and the like? And, this brings up a very interesting point about setting the scene, setting the mood, colors. But again, this is happening in Portland. What we would like to say is, in the natural world, you see a lot of colors, but you hardly see red, in the natural world. It's usually, maybe some wildflowers, but fire. That's what red really represents, not passion, not hearts, but, fire and blood. You know what I mean? So dark-sided kind of stuff, and whatever you see, red logos, corporate logos, people wearing red obsessively, saying the number 6, you're dealing with a hardcore cult member. This is the life for our children now. Look at that. You thought special ed was tough. Look at this. Get up. How are you supposed to breathe? How are you supposed to, learn, under conditions like this? You thought the Common Core was going to mess them up. Wait until you see what the COVID does. French Nobel Prize winning scientist Luc Montagnier has accused biologists of having created SARS-CoV-2, the Epstein-Gates virus that causes COVID-19, in a lab. He states that he will return his Nobel Prize if anyone can disprove his claim. So you've got a Nobel Prize winning scientist saying this is a bioweapon that comes from a lab, and he's willing to put his $1 million Nobel Prize, at stake. And that's what we're seeing, is more and more people are absolutely sure that this came from a lab, cut with HIV. This is really AIDS 2.0, not COVID-19. This is really the Epstein-Gates virus. Epstein-Gates, we should say the Gates-Fauci virus. We're thinking Epstein-Gates because of the Epstein-Barr virus, which is mononucleosis. And it seems like this virus was cut with some mono as well. But all sorts of scientific evidence. Check out our website, stfnreport.com, on what scientists are saying about this virus. And, there's obviously something wrong here. And it looks like it's using multiple pathways, the ACE2 and other pathways to get into the cells. It looks like a hybrid. And, the HIV is a telltale sign of originating in a lab, because most biosafety labs out there, especially level 4, they're just mixing every virus they can with HIV just to see what happens. We've got all sorts of white papers, research, of them mixing all sorts of viruses with HIV. There's no telling what kind of, monster viruses are circulating out there, or how long they've been deploying viruses like this, in our society, kind of like covertly, and testing out things. There was reports for the last couple of years of a mysterious new virus that came on the scene and started paralyzing children, something like DEV 486 or something like that. A big mystery. Where did this virus come from? Why does it act the way it does, et cetera, et cetera. And, we've been talking about how the flu seasons have been getting worse and worse since the 90s. Back in the 90s, it was like 10, 15,000 people a year. And now it can be up to 100,000 people a year. So something has changed dramatically. And now with the COVID, we could be looking at an extra 200,000 people a year. But the numbers, what do the numbers mean? Nobody knows what the numbers mean. I mean, the tests aren't reliable. We have no way to verify the numbers that they're reporting. We just have to, take them for granted. And everything about this outbreak has been wrong since the beginning of this pandemic. So you really have to wonder, what's going on out there. Just want to remind everybody that we're listener supported. If you like our broadcast, be sure to buy the video guy a beer at patreon.com/STF News. You can find the link in the video description on the ScrewTube page. Check this out. BBC Children TV presenter admits 40 sex offenses against children in 30-year campaign of terror. No shit. Kind of like another Jimmy Savile here. And what we're learning is, most of these celebrities, politicians, the people you see on television, they're part of this cult, this Charlie Manson cult, this Jonestown cult that wants everybody to drink the Kool-Aid, that wants everybody to get the vaccine, if you will. Here's another real, hellish kind of scene here. And of course, you have to remember that these churches are temples with altars, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a mega crime. And of course, we live in a society today that has just become upside down, Luciferian,